So this is before they've invaded. So this is before Normandy, and they're just training in England.
Sobel's late.
And Sobel is becoming the commander. No one likes him.
Why is there a fence here? There should be no fence here. Tipper! Yes, sir. Give me the map. Picani, Luz, get the men. Get them. Take cover behind those trees.
All right, you heard the word. Let's go. Move it out, fellas.
Move out.
There should be no fence here.
We could go over it, sir.
Really? That's not the point. Where the goddamn hell are we?
Connie, Sobel's lost again, right?
Yeah, he's lost.
Hey, Luz. Can you do Major Wharton?
It's a wild bear crap in the woods, son.
That's great. Make it a good major can goose this smuck. Get us moving.
No way. Oh, yeah. Yes. Luz, you got it. You got it.
Come on. All right, just this once.
356-833. Isn't that the intersection?
No, sir, it's here. You're full grid off.
Is there a problem, Captain Sobel?
Who said that? Who broke silence?
I think it's Major Horton, sir.
Major Horton? What is he? Did he join us?
I think maybe he's moving between the platoons, sir.
What is the goddamn holdup, Mr. Sobel?
A fence! Sir, God. A barbed wire fence!
Oh, that dog just ain't gonna hunt. Now, you cut that fence and get this goddamn platoon on the move!
Yes, sir! Where are my goddamn wire cutters? Sir.
Okay, so yeah, he's bad at his job, and everyone doesn't like him, so now they're messing with him, and then he messes up. All right, so we're gonna do basic land nav. You guys might not even you guys don't even use road maps, right? When you drive Google Maps or whatever, so maps are probably foreign to you. Recall have you guys gone over this in TRT at all? Nothing about plotting points? Okay, so we're going to go over this today, and then next week I'll actually have you guys plot with protractors on a map. We're going to go over topographic symbols, colors, what they mean, supplemental terrain features, identify methods of expressing direction, and then what declination, conversion, intersection, resection, modified resection. This is a declination diagram. So when you are reading on a grid, a map, it's going to have northwest, east, and south as your cardinal directions. You will plot points on that, but the natural magnetism of the Earth, which is pulling us to the North Pole, is going to be left or right. It's not going to be how you plot it. So if you plot a point, I want to walk 30 degrees, your compass is going to actually pull you left or right. So you'll have to calculate that and say, I want to move it 30, but my compass is off by 3, so I'm going to plot, or I'm going to head towards 27 degrees. Right? So that will be written on whatever map you are given. And again, it might be 0. It's usually not 0, but it'll be something. They talk about an easterly or a westerly pull. So again, it's either pulling you to the east or the west. Okay, it's going left or right. So that's your declination. And that's going to be in the margins of your map. This is also going to be in the margins. Again, we call it a legend. So you see the scale? We can tell me what the scale says. Right there. What does it say?
Scale 1 to 50,000.
1 to 50,000. What does that mean?
For every like 1 unit, it's like 50,000.
This grid square on whatever map is going to cover 50,000 meters. That is not precise. Okay? So think of who might use an imprecise map, like so large. Who might use that?
Top level commanders.
Top level command, right? I'm moving a division of people. I'm moving a ton of people. So I don't need to be that precise. I know this company is going to be here. All right. That's going to be, it's going to get you to a scale of, is it on here? It's going to be 100 meters, 1,000 meters, or 10,000 meters, depending on your 4-digit, 6-digit, or 8-digit grid code. I believe we go into that later. So that's all on here, 5,000 meters. So if you had this map, you would see that if you put a string on that map or a ruler, this distance would be 5,000 meters on your ruler according to the map. All right. This is all part of your legend as well. These will be different. If you're in a place without roads, you wouldn't have Route 65 or Highway 95, or if you're in California going to Oregon, Washington, you'd be on I-5. If you guys didn't know, this is just off topic. When you talk about interstate highways, if it goes vertically up and down, north and west, or north and south, it's 5s, and it goes from left to right. Okay, so California is 5, then you get to Arizona, and north and south would be 15, and then that's why we're 95, right? Because we're on the East Coast. And then if you were going east to west, it would be by the 10s, I-10, I-20, and that goes down, right? So just so you know, that's how we do interstates. That's how it's covered. All right, who can tell me what black means? If you're looking at a map, what does black mean? What's black mean? It can be buildings. What else?
Fences for pastures.
Could be.
Roads. Elevations.
Right? Typically man-made things. Okay? What about red, brown? Red or brown?
What counts as a cultural feature?
We'll talk about it.
What cultural features, relief features, and bronze grade spot elevations?
Yep. Okay, one of the reasons you do this is, say, red light map. When you are doing night land nav, you're not going to have a normal white light flashlight because that kills your night vision, okay? You use a red light because it won't destroy your night vision. You'll also normally cover one of your eyes while you're plotting with the light on, okay? That way you keep the night vision. It takes something like 20 minutes for your eyes to be able to see in the dark, right? It's building up some chemical in your eye. I forget what it's called, but it takes about 20 minutes. So if you do a white light, it takes about 5 seconds for that to dissipate, and then 20 minutes to be able to see in the dark again. So we use red light, or you cover up an eye, and then at least one of your eyes can see at night. All right? So red-brown is something, because it's red, it's visible under the red light. What's blue?
Water.
Water. What's a water feature?
Lakes.
Lake, swamp, river, drainage. What's green?
Vegetation.
Vegetation. So if you're in Iraq, how much green is there? Not a lot. Maybe there's an oasis somewhere, but that'd probably be under blue. Brown. What's brown?
Relief features again and elevation.
And elevation, contours, contour lines. We're talking about contour lines. What's red?
Cultural features, populated areas, and main roads.
Boundaries. What's a boundary?
Like State lines.
It could be a state line. It could be, this is my area of operation, so I know my brigade is here, and you will just do a square box or whatever it's going to be. Normally, those will follow mountain ranges or rivers or geographic features. Like, hey, First Brigade is only operating west of the Potomac. Second Brigade will be to the east of it, something like that. So yeah, you'll outline, that'll be red. And then orange is just other, it's special. Okay, so these, when you ask what are cultural features, what's this?
Church.
What's on top?
Cross.
It's a cross. I believe this is any religious building. Okay, it could be a mosque or a temple, but that is what's symbolizing a religious building. What's this?
School.
School. What's on top?
With a flag.
With a flag. These are tanks. Monumented. So these are just, again, monument. What's this?
Mine force.
All right. Why do we want to know where a mine or a quarry is?
Well, if it's a mine, you could conceal forces inside.
Yep. That's good. I mean, that's good reason. You don't want your troops to go into a mine. You don't. Most mines are, let's say, condemned. They're unstable by default. What's wrong with a quarry? Does anyone know what a quarry is? Okay, let's pull up a picture of a quarry. A quarry. This is a quarry. Okay. There you go. All these are quarries. It's a dugout feature. It's going to be a giant hole. Normally, they'll just end up getting filled with water through the rain over time. Anyways, you obviously want to go around that because it's a quarry. It's just, there's no road through it. There's nothing around it. It's something you know. Let's avoid it. People can fall in, get hurt, die. Spot elevation. This is going to be a known point. It could be a depression. It could be something that's down. Like, I guess it could be a quarry, like you know how deep it is. But normally it's going to be a mountain. And you're going to say, hey, we know that this hill or mountain is 300 meters, 2,000 meters. It's a known spot that you can see, and it's a very clear geographic feature. Railroad tracks. You got a single track, you got a double track. Okay, if it's 2 tracks, that means it's heavy movement, heavy logistics, and then a cemetery. Okay, we used to call this something like Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing. I think that's right? Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing. Yes. Okay. So these are our 5 major features. You got a ridge, a hill, a saddle, a valley, and a depression. In the next slides, we're going to show you what all those look like and what they are. You have minor things, draws, spurs, and cliffs. And then you have a supplemental, which is, where's the other one? A cut and a fill. Cut and a fill. All right.
I've heard of the others. What are cuts and fills?
We will show you. Those are normal. Those are going to be man-made. A cut would be you're on the freeway and you're driving and you're like, why is this like straight lines and I'm driving through a mountain? Because they cut it out, right? We know that, I mean, really, these dynamite, but yeah, they cut it out. And then a fill is the opposite, where the road is raised. All right, you filled it in with something. All right, so here you go. Talk about a ridge. This is what a ridge looks like on a map. All right, you see these are the contour lines. See how they are very close together. All right, and so then you see the actual picture. All right, this is a ridge. Why is a ridge different than a hill?
It's a long line.
It's a long line. All right. What is the reason you wouldn't want to walk on a ridge?
You're exposed.
You're exposed. You're the highest thing up there. Okay? So it's skylining yourself. So imagine there was a person right here. It'd be very obvious there's a person here. But now you have 30 people or 20 people. And now you know what's happening. So you might walk on it. You might walk back here, right? That's concealing your position as you move. It really depends on what's happening. On this map specifically, you can see that this is a water feature. So it's a river. It looks like it peters out here, so it goes underground. It comes out a little bit. Or it could not always be present, right? If it's the rainy season, there's going to be a river. If not, so it's not a permanent river. It comes and goes. So that is a ridge and what it looks like. Ridge line, okay? It's longer. Okay, this is covering 1, 2, 3 full grid squares. All right, so here's a picture. So it's a ridge line because it's so long. All right. Here's a hill, just in the middle of nowhere when you look at a hill. Right, so this is kind of flat all around, and then suddenly contour line, contour line, contour line, very close together, so you know you're climbing, and it's a very obvious hill. Okay, here's the saddle. Okay, why is it called a saddle?
Because it kind of looks like a saddle.
Looks kind of like a horse saddle. There you go. You would obviously walk through this because this would technically be a cliff, and this would also be considered a cliff. So, you know, you got a saddle. You would walk through that. This is what it looks like on the map. So you have a hill feature here and a hill feature here, right? Contour lines that are close together, no contour lines. Here's a valley. Valleys can be caused by anything. Usually there's a river going through them because it's the lowest point, and when it rains, water goes to the lowest point. All right, any question on what a valley is? You got a lot of valleys, peaks and valleys. This is a depression, okay? These are not contour lines, right? There's no contour lines. Instead, you have little dash marks all around. There you go. Why do you want to know where a depression might be?
Hide your troops or stay out of if you're trying to mark.
Yeah, a lot of reasons, right? A lot of reasons. If you're doing land nav, you might trip into this. You don't know exactly. It could be quicksand. I don't know. Growing up, it seemed like there's gonna be quicksand everywhere. Not a whole lot of quicksand, but it could be something you get a car stuck in there and you can't go anywhere. All right, so depressions are best to be avoided. Sometimes they're large. I mean, like very large. But yeah, it's just kind of a little bit of hole in here. The depression. Okay, this is a draw. Looking at your map, here's a draw, right? So this, okay, we're looking at our contour line. So here's the river. So this would be kind of the top of the mountain, right? And this might be a cliff. It's a darker contour line. But anyway, it goes into here, right? This is a draw. So if you were to follow this, you would just get stuck most of the time. So you don't want to fall into draws or walk into draws. Okay, this is the opposite of a draw, right? So this part of this mountain would be a draw. This would be a spur. The spur is the top of the hill, top of the mountain, right here. Right? Contour lines that are spread out. And then the cliff, right? Cliff can be anything. What's this?
That's a boundary.
It's a boundary. All right. And it is this river, right? So you make your boundary. Well, you're not going to send your troops to the river because then they'd all fall down this cliff, right? So the boundary is actually close to the top of the cliff. Okay. Now we're going to do our 6-digit grids, our 4-digit grids, our 8-digit grids. This is what you're going to look at on your protractor. So this is the map. These are your grid squares, and you're going to plot. All right. So 16 SFG, that is your grid designator. There are grids all around the world. Okay, literally everywhere in the world, even in the ocean, there's grids. Okay, that's what this means. You're going to find this grid on a world map. And I believe it goes from AA to ZZ, right? Just around the world. All right, so 6-digit grid 030. So we read this, we read to the right, and then we read up. Okay, so we're going to the right. So what would be here? If there was a number here, what would it be?
02.
02, but we're going to the right. So we're going to 03, and it's a 0, right? So if this was 035, we would be about here. 004, we'd be here, right? So we go right to here, and then we're going to look for the, oops. Oh, no. All right, then we're going to look for the next number, which is up, right? That's the 806. So we're going up, 78, 79, 80, and then we're going up to the 6. So on your protractor, there's going to be a little hole here, and you can put it's like the size of a pen head, like a writing pen. You can put it in there, and you can just drop it, and you can put it on the map so it doesn't go anywhere. But you'll put that in the corner, so you'll find how high you are, and then you'll move it left or right, depending on where you're going. 8-digit grid is going to be more precise. So as you see, 8 to 9, there's something in the middle. This would be a 5, right? You're going to use your best judgment and say, hey, it's a 7, 6, so I need to be above that. Okay. Here's your cut. When you ask what's a cut, this is what it looks like. Okay, we have made a road. It's a man-made, and we have gone through this mountain. Here's the fill. It's opposite. Normally you would do this because this might be prone to flooding. So you don't want your highways to just get flooded all the time when it rains. So you would build this up, and now you're a higher elevation. They're all over the country. Contour lines, right? These are this supplementary, intermediate. Index would be, okay, we're at 400 feet, that's our elevation. Okay, so you know that this is going to be higher, this is going to be lower. That's because of the way that it's going, like the contours, the way they're flowing. Okay, here's what your actual protractor looks like. It's a darker gray. You can normally see through it, but if you're plotting at night, you probably won't be able to see through it. Again, it's a dark gray normally. It's not totally transparent, but you can see through it. We use degrees. All right. How many degrees are there in a circle?
360.
360. So here's 5, go around. 45, top right. Bottom right. Bottom. So if this was 0, what should this be?
180.
180. All right, and we're going to keep going around. What's this? West? What's west?
270.
270. Okay. And it goes all around. The mills are on the outside. There is 6,400. Yeah, 6,400. Artillery uses mills. Okay. If there's 6,400, that's obviously more precise than 360. That's why they do it. It's far more precise. When you would radio in your position, you would radio degrees, and field artillery would themselves convert that to the mill side. Right? They would do the conversion, not you. Okay, so this 50,000 meter, this is going to be the triangle you're going to use. 100,000 meters, obviously larger, less precise. And then 250, that's a huge area. Let's see what else is there on this. 1,000 to 10,000, 1,000 to 50,000. There you go. So the map will tell you what size map it is. It'll be on the bottom. It'll say this scale is 50,000. And select the correct scale. So again, if you are on a 50,000 map and you're using this, it's going to be obvious. One grid should take up this protractor. So if one grid is only, here, you're using the wrong size. Just move it over to another one. Place the horizontal scale on the grid line with the 0 mark at the lower left hand. And then you're going to slide it to the right until you get to the point you need to get to. And then you'll go up. You don't have to move the second time, just plot it on the end. Go right, then up. 4-digit grid square is less precise than 8 because you're only getting 4 digits. Okay? So you say I want 0308. It's just going to be right here. Right? This is your 4-digit. 6-digit, each of these is going to get another one. So 031, 804, and then 8-digit, you're going to get the next number. Again, it's just more precise. 0 mark, I said, is a corner. Normally there's a hole there. You can drop your pen. Here would be your 8-digit grid. I believe 8-digit is accurate to 10 meters. 6-digit is 100, and then 4-digit is 1,000. So not very accurate at 1,000 meters. Degrees, mils, gradients, grads. Baseline, so you got true north, magnetic north, grid north. What is the difference between magnetic north and grid north?
Magnetic north is the north which your compass is pointing to because of the Earth's magnetic fields, and then grid north is what your map says.
Yep. What's true north? That's actually where the North Pole would be, right? Like if you were to go on the globe, said this is the North Pole, okay, but that's not where the magnetic north technically is. Azimuth, okay, what's an azimuth? It's a heading, right? It's a number. I'm going to walk towards, let me go back up to here. Okay, an azimuth is any one of these. 35 degrees, it's 65 degrees, it's 215, right? That's your azimuth, that's where I'm headed. Okay? What's a back azimuth? So if an azimuth is where I'm heading, what's the back azimuth?
Where you just came from.
Where I just came from. How do I get that number?
It's just the exit 180 degrees behind you.
Right. So if I'm going at 181 degrees, what's my back azimuth?
1 degree.
1 degree. If I'm at 179 degrees, what's my azimuth? My back azimuth?
-1?
-1.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't go, no. Not -1.
159.
359. Okay?
59.
350. So if you cross over, so if the number you're shooting is less than 180, then you add 180 to each back azimuth. If it's over, you subtract. Okay? You're going to be, the number will be 0 to 3. Well, I guess it'd be 1 to 360, right? It'll be somewhere on there. And then your grid azimuth. Again, that's what you've plotted. And I think we're talking about it. Yeah, okay. So the grid azimuth is what you plot, and then you have to add in or subtract your declination. All right, that's your grid azimuth is what you're going to plot.
Declination varies based off location.
Yes. That will be provided on the map. So we have cartographers and geographers, surveyors, and they plot it. Right? We as the Army have hired someone else to go figure that out for you, and that's right now. So we have not plotted the entirety of the world or even America. But when you're on a military base, we have hired people to survey an American base. So, just so you know, it's a big wide world. Here you go. 45, determining azimuth. 45, 120, 225. Whatever mils in degrees. Okay, so if you're plotting this, what generally do you think this is, right? You're going from this X to this X. All right, so what's our 4-digit grid here? Who wants to guess? What's this X?
$11.99.
$11.99. What's this X? 4-digit grid.
15.5.
That'd be a 6-digit.
1502.
1502, right? It went to 02 instead of 99 because we've now crossed into whatever the next grid square is, right? So you're going to just, with a ruler, you're going to plot these, and you're going to do a straight line, and that's going to go out your protractor, which is right here. Okay? So it's going to show us what our angle is. So what angle does that look like if you were to draw the X? Somewhere in here. What do you think? What's a guess?
Wait, what is it forming an angle with? Because I just see like a red line.
Yeah. So you've plotted. I want to get from this point to this point. Okay. I'm trying to say what heading do I need to go to? What azimuth should I shoot in order to get from this X to this X?
Is the 0 like at the top?
Yes. 0's at the top.
Uh,
70.
So this one, the reason it's going to give you a wrong number is because this, let's see, our part thing is here. Okay, so where should this X be? Okay, where should this X be when I'm on this protractor? It should be here, right? 0, 0. So it's not. This one's just kind of starting here. So if you did that, you'd be way off. I don't know if they did that intentionally. I didn't build this line. Okay, but it's 57. So this X is obviously wrong because you should have been here, right? If you plot it here, you're going to put this X should have been in the center right here when you went to plot. Okay, so you found out your plot, and then you should have moved the center of the compass where this cross is to here. But they didn't, so their number's off, I guess, all right. So their number's not wrong, but whoever built the slide didn't build it correctly, right? This protractor should have technically been to the right, a full inch or something. That's why you'll do it in person. This is a declination diagram we already talked about. To convert magnetic azimuth to a grid, subtract the GM angle. To convert a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth, add the GM angle. Okay, this will tell you what you're supposed to do on the map. So it will tell you that your magnetic grid, your declination, is an easterly or a westerly pole. And then it will tell you need to add that grid, or you need to add that number or subtract it. It will tell you that on the map. All right. I believe for this sake, the way that they're teaching it is an easterly. If it's pulling to the east, then you need to subtract it. Okay. I believe that's what we go with here in America. So a western you would add 2, and an eastern you would subtract. But again, it's going to tell you that on your specific map. This all obviously doesn't work if you're in the southern hemisphere, right? If you're in Australia or Brazil, because you're getting the South Pole. So you need different maps, you need different compasses. Define these. Goes into detail in the next PowerPoint. How much time we got? About 15 minutes. So they're going to be these 4. Modified means that we humans have modified in some way. We already talked about declination. Intersection is where 2 points will cross. And then resection is using 2 points to figure out where you are. Let's see if we have it on here. To convert a magnetic azimuth to the grid, subtract your GM angle by whatever it tells you to do. So if this one said 21, you would subtract 21 degrees from it. The closer you get to the North Pole, i.e. if you're going north, the stronger that pull is going to be. Right? You're just getting closer, so the distance is just what it's going to be.
So with that line earlier, the 57-degree line, if we find that and then our map says that we need to subtract 21 degrees, then our angle would be 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. This one, so here you go, same thing, right? It said you wanted to shoot at a 49-degree angle, you need to subtract 21, which gave you should be on your compass following a 28 degree. And again, your map, whatever we give you, is going to tell you exactly what that number is. So this is what that looks like. Here's your intersection. And so you know that position A, you need to shoot a 55-degree angle to get from A to this unknown location. Then you have your GM angle of 21, so you would shoot a 76. Position B is down here. They need to shoot 24 degrees to get up here. And then they would add the 21 to get, they'd be shooting a 45. Okay. And the difference between those is 21 degrees. Well, that's 31, so I don't know. Oh, this is the declination. Got it. Declination is 21. All right. You would do math for this, so hopefully you're good at geometry. But intersection again. These 2 points you can see we're getting here. They just you kind of keep on drawing. You just again this is quick, right? You have a ruler, you got a map, you just do a quick line. You go past your point because you don't know where it's going to end, and then here you draw past it again further than like, hey, this is literally where we're intersecting, right? And so now you'll know the distance you need to walk and the angle each of those people need to walk. Straight edge, again, you can do that on your map. So resection, magnetic angle, lookout tower to a known distance. So you know where this tower is because it's marked on your map, or it's a hill or something. You've done this before you've left. Maybe like the Washington Monument, right? We know the Washington Monument is right here. So we know, we don't know where we are. Okay, that's what you're doing. So I know where this is. And then I also know where the second point is. So I know where the Washington Monument is and I can see it. I know where the Capitol building is and I can see it. And I'm here somewhere. So I'm going to plot these points and then I'm going to get my reverse azimuth to say, oh, I now know where I am. Okay, so you do this when you get lost. Modified resection is something that you're going to do along a known man-made feature or like a river. I don't know where I'm at, but I know there's a road here. I'm somewhere on the road. Okay. All right, so that's your basic land nav. Looks like we got 12 more minutes. This keeps on going. So we'll do the practical exercise. I'll bring in the protractors next week, and we'll do this for real. We'll just talk about this, and we'll go over quick. This is what a compass looks like. Going to be green, because we're the Army, and we love green. This folds up. All right, this is going to fold up. This comes out. This won't do anything while this is closed. It just won't. When this sight is up, then this is free to float around, and it's going to be pulled towards whatever the northern polar is. These will be lit up again. We'll go into that. You'll see it. This is going to rear sight, sighting lens. Okay, so you're going to hold this up to your eye, right? And you're going to look. So you're going to plot it. I know I want to go whatever angle this is. I'm going to face it, holding like this, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm here. if you are trying to be very precise, you're going to aim for maybe a tree like 200 yards away. Say, okay, I know I want to walk at 27 degrees to that tree, and then you're going to walk, and you'll just hold it at your waist, and you'll walk, and then you're going to replot. And you're like, okay, I still know I want to keep going 27 degrees. What's my next point? Maybe you're off a little bit, and you know, okay, I've walked 200 yards, but I walked 2 degrees to the left, so I needed to walk 5 feet to the left and reshoot. Okay, so that's what you do when you're in the field. There you go. That's how you would envision it. You're shooting. Again, you're not going to walk with it like that. You're just not going to do it. You hold it. You can hold it like this at your waist, and you can still follow it. If there's no feature, like I said, it's easy to shoot for a tree, but if you're just in the open, there's nothing to shoot for. Then you walk with your hip. You're going to walk 100 yards, 100 meters, and then you're going to look down again like, am I on point? All right. Depending on how far you're going, let's say you're going to walk a half mile. I'm just telling you how to get through land nav training. You want to go a half mile, and you know that you take 70 steps, 70 paces to go 100 yards. So you're going to do that 5 times. You might want to, I need to shoot a 27. You might want to shoot a 29 so that when I get to my distance, I know the point is somewhere to the left of me. Okay. If you think you're walking straight, maybe you're off and now you have to look left and right. It's just a tip. You don't have to follow it, but it helps you to be slightly off on one direction because you just cut your search area when you're looking for your point down in half, right? I'm not looking for a point in a tree everywhere. I'm just looking to my left, something like that. Right? Talk about this. And there you go, are 3 types of north: true north, magnetic north, grid north. Different declinations. This is how the map looks. All right. As you see, closer to the North Pole, this is stronger, 20. Here's 15, right? Here's 10. Here's 5 in Texas, Louisiana. Here's 0. So again, where you're at, that's the pool it's going to be. Just, again, America's a big place, like 3,000 miles, 2,500 miles, something like that. So. Magnetic north is not true north. It's greater than true north. Okay. I don't know. Magnetic north is less than true north. Oh, okay. So if you're on this side of the, I thought that was a subjective statement. All right. Yeah. So if you're over here, it's going to be pulling you this way. So you'd be subtracting this. This is an eastward declination. So you'd be subtracting this. And over here, you'd have to add it. Because again, now it's pulling you left. Covering the azimuth. Easterly, you subtract. There you go. Easterly, you subtract. There you go. Because you're over here, right? Pulling you. So you need to subtract it because it's going to try to pull it that way. Okay. Easterly, subtract. Westerly, add. And this obviously only works in America. It's helpful to learn, but we don't fight in America, so it's going to be different where we fight. These 2 examples. Here's the back azimuth said, 180. We had trouble with this in the other class. Hill 141 is here, and hill 144. What? 141's here. Well, that's his 141, and that's his 141. Okay, there you go. So you would shoot your azimuth. So we can actually use this when we do the example next week. You'll put it down and you'll say how far is this, or what's the angle that you're going to shoot. What's your grid azimuth? This happens to be, okay, there you go. They actually did this one right. So here's the center of your protractor, which is your first spot. You plot your second. You can use a ruler. You can use a string. You could use a long pencil, just something straight. And it's going to tell you that this is
48 degrees.
Something like 48 degrees. Okay, and what's the back azimuth of 48?
238.
We add 180 and we get 228. Alright. So now, okay, that was grid azimuth, so that's our grid, and now we looked at our map, and our map said, hey, we have a declination of 21 degrees, so we need to, well, I guess it depends on where we're at. We're going to either add or subtract, and in this case, we're going to subtract. Okay, we're going to subtract because we have an easterly line. There you go, and that's what the compass would show. Right, it's pulling this way. Okay, we'll get to that, we'll get to that, we'll get to that. Intersection, there you go. Locate an unknown point by at least 2 known points. Okay, so we will do all this when we do the practical next week. Resection is the opposite. We don't know where we are. And modified resection, again, we're on a known point, sort of. We're on a highway or a stream or something. You would be here, right here. This is a railroad, I think. Is that a railroad? This is a railroad. This is a road. So, we're here. So we know we're somewhere along here. We know we're somewhere in here, so you get a generally correct place. And then you shoot straight edge, piece of paper. There you go. That's a ruler they'll give you. Here's the ruler. Okay, so now you're plotting multiple points. So we don't want to walk straight here for whatever reason. Maybe there's a mountain here. So we need to walk around the mountain and then up. So you're going to draw your first point. I'm going to walk to here. And you're going to shoot azimuth of whatever this is, 95. Then you're going to shoot your next one. You're going to walk to here. You're going to mark it. Right? And then you're going to turn it. And now you know that you're adding these up. And that's going to give you your total distance to get there, which is 3,400 meters because you're not walking a straight line. Right? You're walking here and then up. So again, all this will be clear when we do our practical exercise. All right, this is one of those things where you just have to do it. All right. So we have a Kahoot. We'll do a Kahoot. Get ready, and then we'll wrap up the day. Let's see if there's anything else. There's a quiz, and the Kahoot will count as your quiz. And we can start. All right, you guys ready? Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Well, it's intermediate map reading. Which is not a basic northerly direction, which is not. All right. Back azimuth is 330. Hey, so he's good at math?
No, not at all.
I just know my 180s.
Yep.
Okay, grid azimuth of 65 with a 5 westerly. 5 westerly. Starting at 65, 5 westerly. So westerly subtract. Okay. 205 with an easterly angle, 15 degrees easterly. Hey, we did the opposite, right? Okay, so does he actually have a 4-digit grid, a 6-digit grid, or an 8-digit grid? Okay, 468. Okay, so 8-digit grid gets you within 10 meters. All right, 10 meters, 8-digit grid. This is nonsense. This would be too precise. So what would be 1 meter? A 10-digit grid, right? You can add another one. Ooh, on fire. Grid azimuth was an easterly angle. Easterly. 357 to 18. Subtracting easterly. Again, don't feel bad because this only works in America. If you guys go to Germany or Korea, it just doesn't work that way at all. What method of locating one's position is depicted below? So what are we doing here? So we don't know where we are, but we know where these two locations are. Why is it not a modified resection? Why is it not modified?
An exact point.
We're not on a road or anything now, right? We're not on a road, not on a river. So it's a resection. And then what, you know position A and B, what are you going to do to find the unknown location? Now I do know our 2 points. I don't know here. Right, this is where they intersect. Right, those 2 points are intersecting because we know where those two are. Okay, here we go. Who didn't make it? Oh, I get a win. Oh, here, Becker. All right, so we'll do this in. We'll do this next week. We'll bring the protractors. We'll do it. It will make a lot more. Oh, it's gonna make more sense to you, but you're like, okay, I get it now. Right? You gotta plot 4 or 5 times, and then you're gonna forget, and then you're gonna go out to your land nav range or whatever we're doing for the FTX, and hopefully it sticks. You gotta remember this for like 3 weeks. And then go to your cadet summer camp, junior year. And then you'll get to your real platoons, and then you'll just have GPS, and you won't ever have to do this again. So it's a nice to know. If you all want to do infantry, and you go through Ranger school, you'll do it. Infantry Bullock, which is your basic officer leader, that's where you get your MOS. You'll do it. But yeah, once you get to like your real unit, it's all GPS. You're not doing this. It's far too slow. So you just do GPS.
Does the Army have a particular GPS that they use, like a device, or is it?
The Garmin. So they are working on the process.